Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're taking a tour of something pretty incredible, a local AI agent system called MindShard Agent. We're going to lift the hood and see exactly how this thing thinks, how it remembers, how it gets stuff done, and, this is the really wild part, how it actually plans its own future. Okay, so let's start with the official one-liner. At its heart, yeah, it's a desktop app. It's built with Python, and it lets you run AI agents on your own machine using Allama. But trust me, that simple description is just the very, very tip of the iceberg. This is just our jumping off point before we really start peeling back the layers. First up, let's talk about the brain of this whole operation. And what's so cool here is that it's not just one big, all-powerful AI model trying to do everything. Nope. Instead, it's more like a highly specialized team of models, and each one has a very specific job. And this is where it gets really clever. Look how it breaks down the thinking process. It's just like a human team, right? You've got your main communicator, the primary chat, but then you have a planner that actually thinks through the steps, a specialist for coding, another one for doing code review, and get this, a super fast, lightweight model called the Fast Probe that it uses for quick gut check questions. So what this all means is you get a much more efficient and capable system. You wouldn't ask your star quarterback to also play offensive line. By using the right tool for the right job, the entire system gets smarter, it gets faster, and way more reliable. Okay, so we know how it thinks, but let's move on to how it remembers. And this part tackles a huge, and I mean hugely frustrating problem with pretty much every chatbot out there today, their awful memory. Oh, come on. We've all been there, haven't we? You're having this great conversation, you think you're getting somewhere, and then bam, the AI has total amnesia about what you said 2 minutes ago. Well, that exact frustration is what MindShard Agent's memory system is built to destroy. It's designed to work a lot like our own memory, which is brilliant. You've got a short-term memory window that holds the last 10 back and forths, word for word. But when an old message falls out of that window, it's not gone. It gets put into an evidence bag, where it gets summarized. And then there's the RAG store, which is like the system's long-term library for the whole session, so it can pull up relevant info anytime. I love this quote because it just perfectly explains the whole idea. The main narrative, the story, is happening right there in the short-term window. That's what gives the conversation its flow. But all the important details, the facts, the footnotes, they're always tucked away in the evidence bag, ready to be referenced. It means the system never truly forgets. All right, so the agent can think and it can remember. But how does it actually do things on your computer? Well, that's where its hands come in, a really secure sandbox set of tools that lets it interact with your files. So these are its basic moves. It can run shell commands, it can write and read files, it can check out what's in a folder, and it can even run Python scripts. Now, these are some seriously powerful abilities, which is why every single action is carefully contained inside a digital sandbox on your machine. And that security has to be absolutely top of mind, right? I mean, giving an AI the keys to your file system is a big deal. You need some rock-solid protection. You can't just let it run free. And this is how they handle it. It's not just one security feature. It's 6 different layers of defense. It starts with an allow list of only 36 safe commands. Then, it traps all actions inside the sandbox folder. It blocks dangerous files, it limits file sizes, and it even asks you for permission before it does anything destructive. It's this multi-layered fortress that makes sure the agent is helpful, but never a hazard. Okay, this brings us to the final part of our tour, and honestly, it's the most mind-blowing piece of the puzzle. This thing isn't just a static app you download and use. It's designed to be an architect of its own future, with the ability to understand and actually improve its own code. And that is the billion-dollar question, isn't it? This is what separates a simple program from something else. A normal app just sits there and waits for a human developer to come along and give it an update. This system, it takes matters into its own hands. It literally has its own internal documentation. There's a guidebook that explains how it all works, there's a roadmap that lays out the plans for future versions, and there's a file called next_session that's basically its to-do list. And these are just plain text files that the AI itself can read and understand. It even has its own constitution called the Builder Contract. This is a strict set of rules about how its own code has to be organized. And here's the kicker. The system actively scans its own code, finds places where it violates the rules, and then adds those items to its roadmap as technical debt that needs to be fixed. And here is a real-world example, straight from its own to-do list. It figured out that one of its core files, responseloop.py, had gotten way too complicated and was breaking the contract. So it planned the fix itself, split that one huge file into 3 smaller, focused ones. It's not just finding problems, it's engineering the solutions. This is what gets me. The actual instructions for bringing a new AI into the project to help work on the code literally tell you, hand it the guidebook, the roadmap, and the next session file. Think about that. You onboard a new AI helper by giving it the system's own autobiography and its personal diary of what it wants to do next. It's just incredible.
So it leaves us with this pretty profound question. When a system can understand its own design, plan its own evolution, and delegate work to other AIs, the line between tool and teammate gets really, really blurry. It's an amazing glimpse at where this technology is going. Thanks so much for joining me on this tour of MindShard Agent.